Hey friends, let's talk gold. Right now, gold is holding steady near $4,775, up just a bit today, around 0.17%. It's trying hard to lock in a third straight weekly gain. Pretty impressive, considering the geopolitical worries around the Middle East have actually cooled off recently. Now here's where it gets interesting. The market's focus is shifting away from those Middle East headlines and zeroing in on the big event ahead, the U.S. Consumer Price Index report. Everyone's waiting to see if inflation is still running hot, because that number sets the tone for what the Federal Reserve might do next with interest rates. Are they going to keep rates higher for longer, or will signs of easing inflation give gold a boost? That's the million-dollar question. Looking at the bigger picture, gold's caught in a bit of a tug-of-war. On one side, the ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran has knocked oil prices down, which usually lowers inflation fears and can weigh on gold. But on the other side, the US dollar has softened a bit, which tends to support gold's price floor. So they more or less balance each other out for now. The Fed is still the wild card here. The latest FOMC minutes basically say they're not in a rush to cut rates anytime soon. If today's CPI turns out hotter than expected, the dollar could surge, pushing gold back down. But if inflation cools off, that would back up some recent big buying by central banks. We're talking Poland, Uzbekistan, China, and send gold toward that psychologically important $4,800 mark.
Technically speaking, gold's trading within a pretty tight range today. The price is hovering right near the upper edge of its daily band, around 4,775, and just below resistance at about 4,780. It tried and failed to break decisively above that resistance during the European session, suggesting bulls aren't fully convinced yet. Prices are bouncing between a daily low of roughly 4,730 and this resistance area. The current volatility is decent, but right now gold is drifting back toward its pivot point near 4,755, showing an equilibrium as traders wait for the US market to open and ultimately the CPI data. So here's the key setup to watch. If gold manages to sustain a break above resistance at 4,782, that could open the door for a run-up to 4,800. On the flip side, if it slips below support around 4,744, then a retest of 4,700 is on the table. What does this mean in the next few hours? Well, I'm leaning neutral with a slight bearish tilt before we get the CPI numbers. It's pretty normal for markets to sit on their hands right before such a big data release. Expect gold to trade sideways between about 4,760 and 4,780 as everyone sizes up their positions. If we get a surprise softening in the US dollar before the report, then gold could test 4,785. But if sellers show up again near 4,780, we may see the price drift back toward that 4,755 pivot level. Alright, that's the picture for now. Keep your eyes on these levels, stay disciplined, and manage your risks carefully. The CPI is the real wildcard here, so patience will be your best friend. Catch you in the next update.